Why do French fries sound so good after smoking a joint? And can you prevent the munchies? Scientists have the answer. Containing the psychoactive chemical ingredient THC, marijuana is among the most frequently used drugs across the country, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Upon inhalation, THC is expelled into our blood, where it's then transported to the brain and other areas of the body. More immediate side effects include shifts in mood, difficulty with physical movements, or changes in one's awareness of time, colors, and more. Continuous use of the drug over time may increase one's risk of mental health problems, such as anxiety, depression, or episodes of paranoia or hallucinations. There's another side effect people often experience when using the mind-altering substance that's long been considered a little more mysterious: the munchies. The wave of hunger that hits after smoking or ingesting cannabis was the subject of research in a 2019 study published in Human Ethology, in which participants reported that the amount of food they eat tends to increase when intoxicated with marijuana, particularly unhealthy snacks. Science shows that the reason marijuana makes us so hungry is because it essentially fools our brain into thinking we're famished, when that may not actually be the case.
Munchies! Who wants some munchies?
The research paper explained that natural cannabinoid receptors in our brain help keep our food intake in check. A specific group of neurons, known as POMC neurons, tell us when we've had enough. Knowing this, the researchers theorized that weed must suppress POMC neural activity, which would dampen its messaging of, "Hey, you're full," and subsequently lead us to eat more. Much to their surprise, when cannabinoids were introduced into the bloodstream of mice, the researchers saw that the firing of POMC neurons actually increased. Not only that, but the drug also altered the neuron's chemical messaging from one of satiation to a message of hunger. GoodRx Health further notes that another reason marijuana makes our mouths water is because cannabinoids can make food taste even more delicious. When binding to the receptors on our tongue, cannabinoids kick our brain's response to sweet treats up a notch, boosting our cravings for fatty foods.
Yo, who's on Munchies tonight, yo?
Interestingly, in a 2023 study published in Current Biology, researchers from the University of Oregon discovered that humans may not be the only living creatures that get the munchies. Rather, worms also exhibit similar food-seeking behavior when their cannabinoid receptors are stimulated, the research showed. The study team exposed bacteria-eating worms to an endocannabinoid molecule called anandamida and placed the worms in a maze. At the opposite ends of the maze, the researchers placed low-quality food and high-quality food, which worms tend to prefer. After the worms had been doused in anandamida, however, their desire for the high-quality food intensified, and they spent more time at that end of the maze. This explains why cupcakes, pizza, or a juicy burger sound far more appealing than, say, a banana after a person has smoked weed.
I'll partake.
So we now know that people are drawn towards more fatty and sugary foods when high, but is there any research to show exactly which foods tend to pique our interest most? In the previously mentioned 2019 study published in Human Ethology, researchers went to a cannabis decriminalization advocacy event and asked 275 individuals who were intoxicated with marijuana a series of questions about their eating habits and food choices. Over 3/4 of participants reported reaching for unhealthy foods when high. While these studies suggest that marijuana use may increase one's risk of obesity, further study is still needed. Some research has actually shown a link between marijuana usage and a lower body mass index compared to people who do not use the drug. A variety of confounding variables make these results difficult to confirm, however.
Hey, you wanna get high, man?
If you find that you're frequently getting the munchies when using marijuana, GoodRx Health suggests trying microdose amounts of THC rather than larger quantities. Alternatively, some people prefer using CBD products. CBD can be found in a variety of forms and is thought to suppress one's appetite rather than heighten it. If you or anyone you know needs help with addiction issues, help is available. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357.